Hello. I'm actually just going to take a deep breath because I have not recorded maybe in like 2 weeks. Okay, and so I feel like there is like a backed up energy. Backed up, like that's, I just keep hearing that phrase, like, or feeling that phrase more so, like backed up. Ooh, excuse me. I just heard the phrase sweet release. So this can have many layers and connotations to it. It's like I want to explain, but then it's like, you know, when I said many connotations, I want to like name the examples, and I just got so hot in my chest. But it feels like there's this release happening for a lot of us, which I was not planning on talking about at all, but I'm just feeling it right now, of perhaps like over explaining. I know that I absolutely tend to over explain things, so if it's not that exactly, there could be something in that realm that you may connect more with. Okay, so yeah, backed up. Some of you may be like having computer or technology glitches or issues. I'm being shown the Sex and the City. It's funny because Sex and the City has been coming up a lot lately for some reason. And I'm being shown the episode where Carrie's Mac crashes and everyone keeps saying like, well, did you back up? And she's like, back what up? Like she, or something like that. Yeah, so part of the reason I was not recording is because my editor crashed on my computer, which I didn't even know was a thing. I tried to fix it multiple times, and then life just got extremely busy, and I actually felt really guided to like take a break, even though part of me was like, I love doing this, so I really missed it. It was only 2 weeks, but it felt like, yeah, but something was telling me like the time is just not right, and every time I would go to try to either fix the editor, there was other issues going on with my computer as well. It wasn't just that. It just like wasn't the right moment. And it's so funny because today I spoke to my mom, and I used what was going on in my life as an example because she's going through something. And tonight I finally got like a free 2-hour window, and I was like, I also didn't have Wi-Fi at the place I was staying. Long story there. Yeah, so it was just like the one thing after another that like I just felt like I needed to step away for a bit. So you could be going through something like this as well. Like maybe there's something you really love doing or miss doing, but like the last, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 2 days, 3 days, however long it's been for you, 2 months, 3 months, I'm getting like 2 to 3 something. Perhaps you were just kind of guided to focus on something else, and you're like, why is this? Like, I don't understand. And I kept getting all these messages like, you're on the right path, keep going. Like, this is, like, listen to yourself, blah, blah, blah. I just heard a bunch of horns outside when I said that. So the phrase backed up is coming through because then when I went to go push record, it was like, I've been like jotting down so many notes. Like, I just felt like I was like, oh, where am I going to start? Like, this is so overwhelming. So that's why I just wanted to take a breath and just trust the moment. Okay. So right before I started to push record, I went through like my files and we'll even back up a little bit. So when I tried to record I had a one-on-one session the other day, and we were having a lot of issues trying to record. And the person I was having a session with was like, maybe it's just not meant for us to record. And I was like, you know what? I don't feel that way right now. Like, we're going to push through and figure this out. Like, so there could be something, sometimes, we're guided to like trust, and other times we're guided to like take that extra step, and I really felt that so strongly. And I'm glad that I did, because not only did I learn something new, but we did get a recording, and it came through really clearly. So yeah, that phrase that so many of us are probably very sick of hearing, to trust the timing. And I'm going to also take that one step further. So tonight when I went to try and look for a different type of video editor, like I can't even explain this because it's just one of those things. Like I had this other app pop up on my toolbar. I have a Mac computer and I only started using Macs like in the last couple of years. So I wasn't like super familiar with them. I'm like still learning. I still am. Computers are honestly not my strong suit. Anyway, so I just had this like app staring at me and I don't even know how it got there. It's called Creative Cloud. I don't know. I must have downloaded it and forgot about it. I don't know, but I never noticed it before. And then it was just like, I don't know if you have a Mac. Sometimes like some of the apps like literally jump. I meant to say jump. Well, someone could be cleaning out a junk drawer or like feeling called to clean out a junk drawer or like an equivalent of that phrase, like and be junk in your body, right? Because when I was getting that feeling of backed up, it was like I actually all day, the past 2 days, I have been feeling like I'm carrying like bowling balls in my belly. Some of you may feel connected to the phrase Buddha belly, but it's like no matter what I do, there's like no release. Like I've done a lot of like, you know, what they say to do when you're feeling bloated. And I was like, I just have to ride this out. Like there's just something, it's an energetic thing. I can feel it. So when I went to record, I was like, that's exactly what I feel, like this backed up energy. So yeah, that could be like literally in your body, sexually, as well as, you know, documents, again, like junk drawers, stuff like this are coming through. Okay. So something told me to click on this Creative Cloud, even though I didn't even know what it was or how it got there. It was so colorful. I'm like, where did this come from? And somehow, I can't even tell you how it happened. I just like was able to re-download the video editing software that I always use, was like connected through this Creative Cloud, but I don't know how. And now I have it back and it's working, and I'm uploading a personal session, like I said, that I just did. I've been doing this thing now. Someone showed me this years ago and I forgot about it, where you can like upload unlisted videos to YouTube. So like clients can just have their personal session like forever through YouTube. It's really cool. I don't know, maybe someone needs to hear that. Okay. I just heard the word help. If someone needs help with that, I'm not like a pro, but you can totally reach out to me and I'll do my best to like show you what I know, I guess. Okay, anyway. Also the phrase help desk. That feels really familiar. I don't know. I just heard help desk. All right. I actually feel surprisingly like calm for the amount of like signs, synchronicities, energies, dreams, experiences that I've been having the last few weeks. Like it has been quite busy in that department. So now I started recording. I'm going to actually put out a part 1 and part 2 because these two videos or recordings feel connected, these transmissions. And the first one just kind of cuts off abruptly, and I'm just going to leave it that way, kind of like a little Irish goodbye. And then this will be part 2. I probably should have said that in the beginning, but birds may be showing up a lot for you right now. The blue avians I've been feeling. As soon as I said that, my whole chest just like opened up. Okay. Blue lights can be significant. Blue lights. Heart, the heart movement. I've been feeling these like chest pains. I don't even want to call it pain because that's not even the right word. It's like, the image I'm getting right now is like when the cement cracks and, you know, if there's like an earthquake or something or a volcano and you see like all of these cracks being formed, like that's what it's been feeling like, this like cracked open. And I was just about to say, so I just got to a new place today for pet sitting, and on the TV, I was putting on the TV for the dogs when I stepped out, you know, like music. So the screensaver went on because when I came back, it was already off, and it's like this nebulous photo. And I was just about to say, there's a card cracked open. It's happening for you, not to you. Or it's happening to you. Yeah, for you, not to you. I believe it's from the Starseed Oracle from Rebecca Campbell. I believe. I could be incorrect on that. But so that's pretty synchronistic because I was also about to talk about the Cygnus star and the Cygnus constellation. Guys. Okay, so I have 2 dogs with me, Louise and Lloyd, in case those names or initials are relevant for someone. And they just they play, but then they get a little I just heard the phrase at each other's throats. So there could be someone in your life, 5 of Wands, kind of conflict energy. This could also be a very past energy, but I'm going to come back to this. So in the first recording, because it was a couple weeks ago, when I was sitting on a roof recording, and maybe at the 14-minute mark, someone came to the roof, so I stopped recording, and then life just got too busy, and I haven't been able to pick it back up until today. And like I said, there were a few days where I was like, oh, how have I not picked that back up? But I just was like, you know what? I'm just going to trust the timing. I honestly completely forgot what I was talking about during that transmission. Like I said, it was about 2 weeks ago. And tonight I was walking one of the dogs, and I looked up in the sky, and I'm clearing and releasing through the throat. I already feel a little bit lighter. It's insane how energy can work, isn't it? Okay, so I looked up at the sky. I just heard the phrase divinely guided, divinely ordained. These phrases are coming through. Also, by the way, my throat has been massively releasing mucus. I'm sorry if that's disgusting, but so you might hear it in my throat. And I've been feeling this the masculine collective purging out. And the last recording that I posted, I actually didn't even record the overflow for Patreon yet. And I'm sure this is where we're going with it because I can already feel it. Whew. Yeah, it's Melting Miasma is the video title, which is essentially melting frozen light within the body. Miasma, some people can look at it as the very simple term would be when people say you have a block. I just don't love that word for some reason, but yeah, I like to think of it more as preserved, when ice melts, when something has ice, there's still memory within that ice, a block. Yes, it's a block, but there's so much more complexity, so this melting miasma is coming through us from the heart to the head, and through the throat, through the masculine polarity. I know I already said that, but when I say masculine, of course, it's an energy. So it feels like there's about to be some, you gotta love it. I was just talking about ice, and then something just switched on the TV to snow. So the word snow or snow in some way can be significant, but polar ice caps, I just heard polar ice caps. There could be some movement, literally. I haven't checked in on that in a long time, but if anyone here is just watched a documentary or something, there could be some collective shifts in polar ice caps. We can be having some discoveries coming soon. I feel I just heard that. Things like this may be starting to kind of come to the surface. And yeah, so it feels whatever gender you identify as or don't identify as, it feels the masculine, traits in your life, which absolutely can also be connected to another person as well. But this is also within yourself, may have been feeling it was on ice. I sure know I have felt that way. But it feels there's about to be that melting miasma, and movement. 8 of Wands, whoo, whoo, whoo. I don't know. I just heard that in my head. Whoo, whoo, whoo. And I want to say, so I listened to the first part of this recording that like I said, I recorded about 2 weeks ago. And it was this emanation from the Swan, Cygnus, the Cygnus constellation, which is the Swan. The 22 crystalline DNA strands have been coming through very strongly. I just saw also 4-4. And I want to say that, okay, so with this timing, when I think I asked the other night, noticed the moon for the first time in a while. Usually I like always look at the moon, but lately it's just been, like I said, life was picking up in a way I didn't expect. And so I had like a moment, I just like sat with the moon and I was like, you know, am I like in alignment here? Like, is something off, or is this like, are we good? 8:08 on the time right now, 8:08. And okay, so when I finally today, like I said, went to go back and listen to what I was talking about. Now, you may have heard me say this before, or maybe not. I rarely listen to my own recordings, very rarely, but something told me to listen to this. And at the very last thing I said is, "Ooh, I feel like movement in the ovary, like you may be ovulating right now." And all day I was like feeling like I was ovulating, but I just have been too busy to check, honestly. And something told me, like, because I feel it usually, like I know. And earlier I was like, oh, I feel it, but I didn't check my calendar. And then so I paused, or I didn't pause it, automatically, like that was the last thing I said. And I looked and I'm ovulating today. So I just have to say, I didn't plan that at all, but like how synchronistic, you know? And it just made me feel like this was the perfect time to then tap back into this energy. And so the word octave is coming through, integrating this next octave, you know, there was like this, whenever you're finding this, it's timeless. This like perhaps, again, 2 to 3 day, something like that, 2 to 3 month, 2 to 3 years for some of you, integration phase that is ready to be like the next octave is ready. That's it. Okay, hear those horns. And then also I'm sitting in front of pink and red roses, and I really wanted to record with, like, I'm working on being able to record with video. I need to get like a tripod or something, because I know having a black screen is not ideal. That is something that I'm very much sitting with for probably way too long. So maybe there's something else that you're like, you've been sitting with for a long time, or what feels like a long time. So you got pink and red roses. Could be something that maybe you've been seeing, or maybe you'll start seeing. There's been this like rosary lineage call that I've been really noticing in the collective and feeling personally as well. So another connection. So I was talking about when I was walking the dog earlier, and I looked up at the sky, and there was like a little cliffhanger. I'm now back to that. And I just kept seeing these, like, so hard to explain, like it was like liquid light portals, and they were like these like ultraviolet. I always see these like swirling energetic color, plasma, if you want to call it that, in the air, in the sky. But there was something like a little bit different. And honestly, where I'm staying, there are a lot of lights, so it absolutely could have been like reflecting light from the buildings. But even still, that happens all the time. There was something significant, and I kept hearing like energetic portals, and I've been seeing the word storm all day. So geomagnetic storm, I have not checked the geomagnetic activity, but maybe I'll look that up soon. It does feel like there's something either happening right now or about to happen, like a spike in that activity in some way. I also just heard void of course, so a void of course moon could be significant, and I just kept hearing that word portal. And then when I re-listened to the audio, this was like maybe 2 hours before I started recording this just now and listened to the first part, I was talking about these like crystalline portals that kept coming through. And for some reason it like left my consciousness, and I was like, oh my God, like how crazy. So the ovulation and then the portal energy, all of it was like boom, boom, boom. Again, like it just felt like so divinely like orchestrated. Like honestly, I kind of am seeing why I've been in a very busy state. Like that's something I honestly thought I was done with that in my life, but like I feel like I actually really needed it. And it really helps me like click back into stuff like this. You know, it's like I went out into the world a little bit. I'm independently, like I haven't been able to like, I don't want to say I haven't been able to, energy just wasn't right for, let's just say I'm bringing in a little bit more finances than I have in a long time. And it just feels good to be like independent in that way, you know? But not that I wasn't independent. Anyway, see that over-explaining energy. But what I want to say is there might be something, it's like, I kind of like went, if you want to call it like 3D for the last few weeks, like pretty much. I mean, I was still doing sessions and stuff, but just to, again, have that like that synchronistic orchestration. It's just sometimes it's fun to still have that, like, just be the way it is and sit with that for a second, you know, and like maybe, yeah. Anyway, so with that, I feel like all of a sudden my nose is getting a little bit stuffy. So yeah, you could be purging stuff out of the like vestibular tubes in the back of the, I'm seeing the back of the eyes, ears. Breathing. Let's talk about breath, right? The most simple thing in the world, or not. I found out recently, again, in the most, I can't even sometimes like, I think I've been like breathing wrong my entire life. And it's funny because I do breath work and I'm always so conscious of my breath, but maybe I won't say wrong, but like it's time, I think, to show up and breathe in a different way. And so I'm trying my best to honor that call. And I looked up in like Ayurveda, they say to breathe through the nose and out of the nose as much as possible. And I realized how much, I guess, people call them mouth breathers. And I always feel like I'm thirsty and, you know, things like this. And I think I've been like sleeping with my mouth open. Anyway, so someone like, I didn't even realize this at all. And then my friend just like handed me this mouth tape, which I did see it once before, like on an ad or something. And I was like, hey, what is that? But I have to say, something told me to try it. And I don't want that to be sustainable. Like, I don't want to sleep with mouth tape all the time. But to like, I was thinking about the comparison to lucid dreaming. So if any of you are familiar with lucid dreaming or any lucid dreaming techniques, to train your subconscious when you're sleeping, you do things throughout your day. So I've been like more consciously breathing through my nose the last few days, like hoping to train myself in my sleep as well. But in the meantime, you know, the mouth tape I don't love because it like the adhesive, you know, it's not my favorite. So I was also looking up some Ayurvedic tips for instead of like nasal strips to like keep the nostrils open and the mouth closed, basically, is what I'm trying to do, like, because I feel like my nostrils are just not getting enough air. So do any of you have this issue, or maybe you'll like figure, I don't know, or if you have any tips, but it's been coming through so strongly, like my whole breathing is like going through a revamp. So I'm trying to be patient with it and not rush it. And, you know, right now I'm just constantly moving places. So it's a little bit more of a challenge to do some of these more like Ayurvedic practices consistently. So sometimes, you know, these more Western ways, no, they're not a permanent fix. That's why I'm trying to get to the root. I don't know why I'm going into detail of this, but maybe someone here is going through something similar. And, you know, when I have a home set up again, I will absolutely like dedicate more of the Ayurvedic, like slower, slow and steady. But just sleeping with those, I have to get more. I ran out of the mouth things for like 2 or 3 nights. I could feel a difference. Like when I woke up, my mouth wasn't as dry. My throat has been having like a dry cough for a really long time, and I could feel a difference in that as well. So I just shared that just in case someone is going through something similar, or if you know someone, or maybe you've already gone through this yourself. 23 on the time. You may be feeling like you just integrated an aspect and or maybe of your like monadic template or your high self, or however you like to call it. People call it like, also when I say it, hear the horns. It feels like I know there's so much of this going around, so I don't love saying a lot of these like catchphrases, or like, not catchphrases, what are they called? Like buzzwords. But I did have this really extreme experience recently where I kept feeling like there were multiple realities sort of like converging into what I like to call the highest divine timeline. Some people call it the golden timeline. I've also been like feeling a white golden energy. Like you may feel like your eye color may be a little bit lighter or shifting a little bit in some way, or maybe for some of you a lot of it. You might feel like your skin, like maybe people are saying something to you. Halos may be significant for some of you, like yeah, these are just some energetics. The crystalline portals are coming through again, and inner earth has been coming through so strongly. I've been having these really interesting dreamscapes through inner earth. I want to go into so many of these energetic strands, but for some reason, I'm just going to trust what I'm being guided to do. I'm being guided to just pull them through. And this was an energy I was also having like right before I took this social media break, if you will. It wasn't really a planned break, but it just kind of happened naturally. Yeah, like a natural breaking point. Okay, so maybe I will share the, I heard Middle Earth, I wouldn't say Inner Earth, Middle Earth dream in the extended on Patreon, the overflow. Anyway, so because it was very chaotic and it was really synchronistic because I was staying with my friend who just recently got married, and congratulations to them. I actually ordained, they asked me to marry them, so I became an ordained minister, I guess is what they call it. So I performed the ceremony, and we kind of like almost naturally wove in the hierogamic template. And it was just so, I didn't even have time to process this, but I've been talking about the hierogamic template and union for so long. And to be able to like perform a ceremony for two people who like, we all wrote the ceremony together. I don't know. It was just, I don't know that I fully absorbed it, but it's just, I don't know. It was so, I have chills. Like it was just a really, really beautiful experience. Okay. I'm going back a little bit. So, what I wanted to say, honestly, there is so much. Okay, I need to take another breath. Thank you for bearing with me. So the friend who got married, I was staying with her, well, my friends, they're both of them. I was talking about how I was like, I feel like we just switched timelines again. And she was like, really? Because she loves this stuff too. And we were talking about, like, I was talking about that 5 of Wands energy. She was having like a conflict with someone in her life, and they both remembered reality like differently. And her mom said, maybe I'm just like from an alternate reality or something. I know she wasn't saying it like too heavy, but like I had just talked about timelines. And so that got me like thinking also the Mandela effect is coming through. And there was something I said earlier in this transmission where I thought of the Mandela effect and I didn't say it out loud. Maybe some of you had that same thought. But coming back, so I was that night, I think when I went to sleep, I just did a little bit of like light work, if you want to call it that. I didn't mean to say light work. I was going to say a light transmission. And the next day or something popped up on my feed. And it was like, we just jumped timelines again, like welcome to the new timeline, something like that. So you may be having some of these confirmations as well in some way. Again, more like clarity, movement, etc. There's been a lot about weight, like gaining weight, losing weight, holding on to something, like something in your body that maybe has been very stubborn the last, like for some of you, couple years. For some of you, again, I keep getting 2 to 3. It feels like there's about to be that backup energy we were talking about. It's like there's like a flushing happening. And I know that I gained weight myself the last few years, and there's been many layers coming through. Sometimes it comes through as like a protective mechanism. Something came through today on my channel about, I think it was from Bashar, Daryl Anka, which I don't listen to that very often at all. So when it popped up, I don't know, something just told me to click on it. And the channel that came through Bashar was like, when you need to like quote, when you're gaining weight, it's like he put the word weight, W-E-I-G-H-T and then W-A-I-T. It's like you're waiting for something. And it was all about like self-forgiveness. Like you haven't forgiven yourself for something. You're holding on to something and you're waiting. And then he put both spellings of the word, like a play on words, energetically. So some of these things could be coming up for you. Like maybe you're seeing, but again, like that phrase divinely guided is coming. It feels like a lot of us are meant to experience this period. Yeah, I mean, that's just what I feel that in like every fiber of my being. And there's going to be continued like clarity and just like moments of like aha moments, you know? Okay, let me see. Speaking of the hieroglyphic template, whenever you're finding this, I kind of feel like this needs its own separate transmission. Maybe I'll just like do a few related to this energy because, yeah. But if you do feel connected to the Hieros or the hieroglyphic template, inner union of the masculine and feminine, birthing that next lineage, the next phase of consciousness, the next octave of consciousness, whether that's just within this, not just within the self, with a self and another as well. It may be different for each of you. Maybe for some of you, it's multiple people. You know, I'm not here to tell you how it manifests. I'm just here to bring forth. Okay, birds. Here's another little bird on the screen. Birds. So it's interesting that the blue avian is coming through the Cygnus and the Swan constellation. Oh, swans are birds. Duh. I wasn't even thinking about that. But it feels like there's, again, multiple layers. That phrase is so strong in this tonight. I heard the phrase a rollout. There's like a rollout happening is what I feel. You know how like companies will do like a rollout, right? So they might roll out like one phase, then the next phase. It's like these rollout phases. Whew, did you hear that car kind of go crazy? Okay, so back to the hieroglyphic template. Please take this how it will fit with you, but it's coming. Oh, I just got chills on my legs. It's coming through at least this aspect, a romantic aspect. Now, of course, Hieros is so layered and simple. It's simple. It's layered. It's simple. It's complex. It's like so many things. And of course, the romantic aspect is just a part of it, but I want to honor what's coming through because it has been like literally, I posted a few months ago and I used the phrase, you may be like inundated with synchronicity. It's the same energy, but like even stronger. So I literally just like felt like the reality that I'm sitting and looking through like started to shake. Like I just saw like a shaking through. It's like a lattice, an energetic lattice, and it was like a shaking. Yeah. Okay. Of course, again, we're all at some of us can be at different points of this. The Golden Gate Bridge just now came on the TV, and I was in San Francisco recently, so San Francisco can be relevant for someone. Actually, my sister and my brother-in-law and their kids live there, and they're now moving, so I probably shouldn't have said that. I'm saying that because, yeah, moving was coming through again. It just reminded me. Also, a vacation. Some of you can be like an energetic trip or a psychedelic trip, an astral trip. But I feel like for a lot of you, there's also like a physical trip coming like very strongly in the energy. It might be a surprise or like unexpected, maybe last minute. 8:27 on the time. Yeah, so it's really funny. So 8:27 is my friend's birthday, and I just saw her initials on a license plate next to the words BF. And I thought of boyfriend, and it's funny because she's been single for a long time, and she recently picked out a ring. She hasn't had like a ring, like a nice ring, in a really long time. So she was like, I just want like a nice ring. And then when she picked out, like everyone was like, this is like an engagement ring. And she was like, no, it's not. It was. I think it was some like K Jewelers or something, one of those like engagement places. And she was like, oh my God. So she was joking that she's going to like marry herself and buy it herself. More Sex in the City stuff. There's an episode where Carrie, if you guys are familiar, basically throws herself like a shower for marrying herself because she's invested in so many other people's like wedding showers and birthday showers. Birthday shower is not a thing, is it? I didn't mean to say that. A sprinkle? No, a birthday. Why do I keep saying birthday? Maybe it's someone's birthday. Happy birthday. I'm trying to say baby shower. Yeah, that's it. I actually had a dream last night about a wedding shower and a baby shower. Yeah, so it feels like there's this hieroglyphic template is like bringing in unions in different ways. You know, maybe some of you are becoming parents or grandparents, or, you know, it's coming through like that birth, rebirth energy, union, marriages, commitments, contracts, like that sort of thing. At least a physicalized manifestation. So the last few years, I've been having a lot of like more, I'll say like astral, or astral doesn't even feel like the right word, maybe energetic experiences. And now it feels like things are starting to show up physically. Yeah, so some of you may be going through this as well. The amount of songs that I heard yesterday was like, if you've ever seen a rom-com, you know, when they have like the peak where it's like, what's that movie, Say Anything, or John Cusack? It's like, even though this was all synchronicity and not like physical, it was like that sort of, it was like all day I was just being serenaded by synchronicity music. And that happens a lot, but this was like, I think even to the next level. Let me just sit with this for a moment because, okay, so there's this song. I never hear the song, like almost never. I heard it twice in one day. And then like the phrase that the song, I wrote down the song, Tears for Fears is the name of the band. And they sing a song. I just like Heels, Heels. Head Over Heels. Okay, so I heard that song 2 times in one day, but it wasn't just hearing the song. While I was hearing the song, there were like maybe 4 other synchronistic things happening all at the same time within maybe like 10 seconds of each other. Both times I heard the song. Numbers, license plates, feelings, name, hearing a name. Like it was like boom, 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 boom. And the one part of the song that stood out the most, something happens and I'm head over heels. I never find out until I'm head over heels. So right after that, then like 2 or 3 people posted like videos talking about like union energy, and the phrase head over heels came up. So I knew that it was a collective energy. I mean, I already knew it, but it was like extra confirmation. Yeah. So this idea of like, and you know, if this is not a romantic thing, it also just could be like something coming in for you that like you don't realize until it's like, whoa, like you're in it and you're like, what is happening? And it could be for some of you like multiple things. There was another song I heard. So I heard that song twice, and then I heard another song the same day 2 times. And again, it's a song that I like never hear. And it was another love song. Okay, the song, baby, I love your way every day. That song, twice in one day from 2 different singers. And I was like, what? So some of these songs, you can look up the lyrics or there could be something there. But also same thing, when I heard the songs, there was like also all these other synchronistic experiences happening. There have been, of course, now it's 833, which is another synchronistic number to this connection that I'm speaking of, as I'm talking about it, and I did not plan that at all. Also on the screen, there's like these, it's it looks like it's red, orange, yellow, green, and blue, like the rainbow, like 7 primary colors. Or in this case, I can't count right now for some reason. Maybe it's not all 7, but yeah. So, so interesting. So it looks like the root, the sacral, the solar, the heart, and the throat, like in a row. And I was talking earlier about the throat and up. So yeah, there's this like full, wow, that's so beautiful. There's like this full body systems merging. Right? Like I'm seeing like 2 triangles, like one's upside down and they're intersecting each other. Right? Again, that like, I just keep hearing like full body systems merging. That's like the phrase that's coming through. Plumes, peacocks, and here glaciers, more ice energy, right? That melting. And the glaciers have like water at the bottom, and there's like kind of caves, which reminds me of that dream I had technically about, in the dream I think it was the phrase Middle Earth was coming through the dream, but it wasn't in like a fantastical way. It was like a very practical dream. Like we were literally, I guess I'll talk about it a little bit. So I was with a few other women, and we were being held captured by this very, 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 very wealthy man. And obviously he had a full team. And we were like inside of the earth somehow, but we couldn't really see anything. And it was like almost like a doomsday dream. And again, it was really synchronistic because my friend who I was staying with, I almost said sleeping with, which I was not. She's the one who just got married, but that could have been a slip up. I don't know. That could be like a different energy for someone. Maybe there's like an interference happening. But so I woke up and told her a little bit about the dream, and she's like, or no, I don't know who went first. One of us. We always talk about our dreams. And she had a doomsday dream. And it was just really interesting. We both had like a dream, like a chaotic dream like that. An event. It was so interesting because in the dream, when I was like, I was thinking of an escape plan. Like I was like, I'm not going to just like stay here and like be utilized this way. But it's like I was channeling in the dream, and I was shown like I was there for a reason, and I was safe, and we were going to be released soon, like me and the other people. And I was like there to tell them like, listen, we just have to stick it out a little longer. We weren't really being harmed. We were just like kind of servants. Not like, I don't mean, when I say just, I have to eliminate that word from my vocabulary. It's just something I do. I don't mean to minimize it. I mean, being a servant, we obviously like did not have our sovereignty. And I was being shown all these little seeds that were planted, like for those of us who were there, to essentially plant seeds for this, like this person who had this illusion of control, if you will. And sure enough, in the dream, even though I was about to like try and escape, I stuck it out a little bit longer, and then we were all released. It was like this, I don't remember how, but we were magically released and went up to the surface. So there's so much to unpack there. I'll probably go into this more in the overflow, like I mentioned, but I wanted to look up the etymology of illusion, because that word, like Maya, so, interesting, Middle English, I was just talking about Middle Earth. Middle English, in the sense, deceiving, deception, via Old French from Latin, illusion, from eludere, to mock, from in, against. Ludere, play. So it can mean like mockery or jesting. I don't know why that felt really important. So the jester was coming through recently. The heyoka, if you're familiar with, I believe it's a Japanese word. The heyoka empath is something some people identify with. I was obsessed with jesters when I was younger, and I just had a client who also, if you're listening, you know who you are, had a synchronicity around jester. So it's really interesting that from the word illusion is jest or gesture, right? The heyoka, like, there's something here, but I'm honestly, I'm just kind of staying with what's coming through, but like I said, more will continue to be unpacked as we go. But if something like pings you, like feel free to share, because I feel like there's multiple people who are going to have different like perspectives or messages come through this collective. And if I don't thank everyone enough, thank you. I'm having these few weeks away. I just love doing this, and obviously it's a collaborative effort. So, I think in my description box, or my YouTube like description, I always put like co-creating multidimensional community weaving, and it's like truly for big, and I just feel very grateful. So thank you. Okay. $555 on the timer. Yeah. Big changes, fast changes. Again, that like storm tower energy has just been like percolating, but it doesn't feel like, I want to use my words carefully here. Travel and career also feel very highlighted. And however, maybe you don't have to identify with the word career, but passion, philosophy, I don't know, some of these things are coming through. But yeah, it feels like there's about to be like, just these changes are happening. It's so interesting because I'm sitting here like I feel like I did not get to like capture so much of the depth of what I've been experiencing the last few weeks. How have you guys been feeling? Maybe you also have been having these experiences. But I actually am feeling guided to like close it here. And I didn't get too much into Cygnus or the Swan constellation, the crystalline DNA. I'll probably go more into on overflow the like ascension mechanics of some of this that is birthing through. I'm wrapping up. I have another walk to do for a dog and a feeding. So yeah, the overflow will be in the description box through Patreon. And I'm so excited to be back recording, and I'm sure now that the floodgates are open and the backup is releasing, I'm going to just let it happen as I always do, organically. So, but I do have a feeling I will be recording more whenever the time aligns. Okay, thank you.